All right, so I've just finished at the gym for the week, which is always a bit of a highlight. Woohoo! I love the gym, but to have it finished for the week it makes you feel good because it's done for one, and the fact that you're doing it at 45 years old, I'm still doing it. It just makes me feel good. So it's good. It's a nice moment on a Friday to have it all done. But the reason I mention is because when I was just inside there doing my workout, they have the TVs on. They have one channel on Channel 7. They have one channel on Channel 9. Now, as I said in previous videos, I don't really watch the news anymore. In fact, I don't watch the news. I just think it's all shit. It's just a bagel circle jerk. And it's all just lies and hoaxes, and they're just feeding you shit, a little bit of truth, just feeding you shit that they want you to hear, and everyone just believes it. But a few things that were going on the TV there were interesting. So everything is orange. All of these news things in the morning, they're all just decked out in orange. I'm sure it's because sunrise is orange. I'm sure it's just because of that. And that's why all the women every day wear an orange dress, and all the backgrounds are orange, and all the stories are orange, and that's the primary colour. I'm sure it's just that. It's just a coincidence, I'm sure. But anyway, the first story I saw there today was apparently there's been some sort of hacking thing go on, probably in America, and the guy that goes up and that talks about it, he gets up in front of the media. His name's like Roldstein or something. You know, as soon as you see the Steen, you go, bagel. You know, it's just so obvious. And then the next story was this Harvey Weinstein. He's up there today, and he's fighting these charges because he committed the most atrocious of sins in that he touched women, and women are just untouchable in society at the moment. And that's where the SIOP starts with women. It's starting in Hollywood with the bagel circle jerk, people like Weinstein. He's now happy living in Israel, living it up. He's probably still in America directing movies. Who knows? Who cares? But he's not being punished. He's not going to jail like Nelson Mandela. Never spent a day in jail. It's all just lies and bullshit. But there he was up there looking disheveled, and, you know, like he's the big bad boogeyman, and which of course he is with that name, Weinstein. Of course he is. He's the bad boogeyman, but it's all just shit. He's just there taking a hit for the greater good because the psyop is that women are persecuted by men, and that's the divide and conquer thing. But from there, the stories started to evolve, and I started seeing a few more, and I need to just had to pause it there, so I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, there's a big push on now. Today's December 21, so it's 4 days from Christmas. So I'm here at my local shopping centre, and again, I'm going to go inside and have a cuppa and just watch them all. Again, people are absolutely frantic. They're frantic to max out their credit cards and stress themselves out and give themselves anginas, and it's just a crazy time of year. But the big thing today was charity. So they're pushing charity in there today, just in time for Christmas. So let's make everybody feel guilty and make everybody have to give to their to a charity. There's just a lady next to me here. She's probably gonna hear me. But let's make everybody feel guilty about, you know, living a good life, and let's spare a thought for those less fortunate and give to charity. And with all the proceeds, of course, going to Israel. I don't give to charity, and that doesn't make me a prick. I don't want to participate in this financial system anymore. It's all just bullshit. The big one here at the moment is farmers. Every time you talk about the weather, I know during Bathurst this year, I love Bathurst. It's my favourite day of the year. It's the one earthly thing that I haven't lost yet. But Bathurst is the best race each year. It's the best when it's raining. And it rained this year, and every time they mentioned the rain, they had to say, oh, but it's good for the farmers. And there's another big psyop going on here with the farmers. It's like, I live in areas where, like the Central Coast of New South Wales, I've been in Brisbane, and every area in between I've seen. I've driven from Melbourne. I've basically driven in the past from, like, collectively, I've driven from Melbourne all the way up to Rockhampton over my journey. And it's always green. It's always beautiful. There's land everywhere. But here it's like the farmers, it never rains, and they're always in drought, the poor farmers. I remember there a few weeks ago, there was this guy, it was the most hideous story that was on that horrible show, The Project. You could see he wasn't a farmer, but up there he got, and he starts crying and starts begging for money and starts begging for donations. I mean, no bloke does that. No bloke gets on TV and starts crying and starts begging for money. No bloke. It just doesn't happen, particularly farmers. Farmers are the salt of the earth type of blokes. They don't get on TV and beg for money. And there this guy was. It was just another bagel circle jerk. And then I was driving there the other day, and there was a guy who, there was a car in front of me that had this big sticker on it, no coal mines in farmland. So it just leads me to ask the question, why are we building farms where it doesn't rain and where there's coal? Can anyone answer me? Or am I just a moron? You know, and people just don't pick up on it. We go, it's everywhere. I go into the supermarket now and there's a 20-cent levy. I know it's only 20 cents, but it's the principle. Because we just never stop paying freaking tax. It just doesn't stop. I was in there, another story in there just before. They're talking about double demerit points and the penalties will be harsh. They actually use that word. Doesn't harsh mean excessive? You know, and the police are saying we're going to impose harsh penalties, which means excessive. It's like, well, you're admitting you're being excessive. All they want is your money and just to fine you and imprison you and make you fit into this organized, orchestrated society that we live in. It's just crazy. But there's a levy on milk, 20 cents. It goes to the farmers. And it's like, well, why the hell are they building farms where there's coal and where it doesn't rain? It's just baffling, and it just goes on and on. I just watch these TVs every morning, and it's just all emblazoned in orange, and I'm like, what's the big SIOP for today? And today, on December 21, all they could crap on about was bloody us, the poor bug who's trying to just make a living and make our way in this horrible satanic world, making us dig deep, and give more to charity with all the proceeds going to Israel. I said in my last video at the end, wake up, people!